We are the Black Riders, and we consider ourselves to be the new generation Black Panther Party. We started in 1996 to organize the lumpen proletariat to engage in the Orange Revolution, Orange resistance to this fascist, capitalist, imperialistic state. This is what we believe. We believe that all oppressed people need to get together in solidarity to face the vast forces of imperialism that's engulfing everybody on the planet. We feel as though if there's one slave on the planet, we are not free. We can never be free if there is one person that is oppressed on this planet. We don't care if they black, brown, white, or whatever. If they oppressed, it's time to squabble. It's time to get down. See, in the hood we say, get down where you're mad at. And that's one of our problems. We are the Black Riders, and we consider ourselves to be the new generation Black Panther Party. We started in 1996 to organize the lumpen proletariat to engage in the Orange Revolution, Orange resistance to this fascist, capitalist, imperialistic state. This is what we believe. We believe that all oppressed people need to get together in solidarity to face the vast forces of imperialism that's engulfing everybody on the planet. We feel as though if there's one slave on the planet, we are not free. We can never be free if there is one person that is oppressed on this planet. We don't care if they black, brown, white, or whatever. If they oppressed, it's time to squabble. It's time to get down. See, in the hood we say, get down where you're mad at. And that's one of our problems as a people. We took out our anger on each other after the destruction of the Black Panther Party, after the destruction of many revolutionary movements. They encouraged our revolutionary rage to be took out on meaningless outlets, on each other mainly. We began to bang against each other after Bunchy Carter created the Crip organization in order for it to be a revolutionary movement, a revolutionary clique off the Black Panther Party. But of course, J. Edgar Buster-ass Hoover came along and assassinated Bunchy Carter, assassinated John Huggins at the UCLA campus. A lot of y'all know about it, read about it. But do you understand the implications of such a vicious, brutal act? You know, we read these things, we romanticize these things, but at the same time, what was the repercussion of these actions? What was the repercussions of the destruction of the movement? It left our people fucked over, confused. But at the same time, we recognize the history. A lot of us you see right here in these paramilitary fatigues. A lot of us used to be Bloods and Crips. A lot of us got into it with each other on a vicious, violent level. But once we understood the true history of the first biggest crime ever committed against our people, once we realized that, we opened our eyes to revolution. That first crime was when the first black man was kidnapped, busted upside the head, netted, and drugged to this country to work for white folks and their racist capitalist designs. So when we looked at that history, when we looked at the history of the brutal murder and massacre of all oppressed people on this planet, we say, hold up. Whatever me and Lil Blow Joe did, whatever the big homie got into it over, wasn't as big as that. No matter how many nieces and nephews, cousins and brothers got killed in this brutal reactionary war caused by fascism, we have to open our eyes to the real truth of just 50,000 to 100 million people is still left at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. When we took that into consideration, we say to ourselves, well, hell, how could we be squabbling with each other over blue or red or over a color? When you look at such vast brutality, vast murder, genocide, we calling on all people to develop a united front against fascism. And I tell you now, it ain't going to be like the 60s and the 70s when the white left came along and used Black Panther coffins to integrate into the system. as stepping stones into fascism. So once you cut your little stringy hair, you go on and mingle with Bob and Bill Gates. No, it ain't going down because we gonna catch you slipping. All them snitches that came up out of the white left, refusing to accept the black thinking ability, our leadership skills through theoretical analyzing our own situation. A lot of them rejected this view. They wanted to use us as bullet catchers. They didn't want to squabble. They abandoned our movement. Let's keep it G. Let's keep it real. The white left abandoned us to die because they failed to really respect and take the lead of the black revolutionary vanguard that was out here thinking and fighting for the people. You know, we got this thing called white supremacy that be going on. Maybe y'all don't know nothing about it, maybe y'all do. Hopefully you do, you in this room. But for those of y'all who don't, for some strange reason back in slavery, y'all was convinced that our black mind didn't work as good as our black body. You see it in sports today, where there's plenty of coaches, but at the same time they want us to do all the running, the jumping, and the dunking. They refuse to let us coach, even though I totally disagree with all reactionary forms of sports. I'm just using that as an example to explain to y'all it ain't going down even in a reactionary area or this revolutionary front. You must respect us as the vanguard of the revolution, the global revolution that is encompassing this world that will not be stopped, will not be compromised, will not surrender for anybody. See, we have George Jackson's opinion. We'll mass whatever people we can. If you down with it, you with it. But if we don't mass enough people, we promise to destroy this fascist system all the way down to making it a mass grave for 2 million of the most idiot, capitalist, fascist fools on the planet. We are not playing. One of our first programs when we got together, we decided to create the Watch a Pig program, so we began to move on the pig establishment. A lot of people said, no, what? This ain't the 60s. You can't run up on the police with weapons. But that's what we do. A lot of y'all reading in the books, talking about it, hearing about it, but that's what we do right here in your face. You say, hold up. Is these cats some wannabe Panthers? Come holler at me after this meeting. I'm going to show you how much wannabe is in me. How much wannabe is in them. We're not playing no games. The history of our organization is laid out in blood. Our membership has been oppressed, repressed, assassinated, kidnapped. Y'all still looking for the 60s and 70s. We must get out of this stupid, romantic, dogmatic mentality. It's here now, right in your face. We got comrades who've been assassinated, and they are not being respected. We got comrades who are political prisoners, and they are not being respected. Just because all this didn't happen in the year 60 or 70. This is some idiocy. This is some stupidity at its highest level. White folks out here now, today is the time. I said every time when I get with y'all, I love y'all to death, but you must pick a side. Either you're George Bush or you John Brown. Pick a side. Ain't no gray area. All you fake liberals are talking about, oh, we just a little bit this, a little bit. Ain't no gray area. Ain't no being a little bit pregnant. If you're pregnant, you're pregnant. That's what I'm talking about. Stop playing with the game. Recognize your white skin privilege and reject it, or use it for the woe. If you ain't using it for the woe, you use it for self-interest and you playing games, we gonna catch you slipping. And if we catch you slipping, if we catch you snitching, we coming after you. We promise to chop off your arm, push it through your mouth, and pull it out your ass. We catch you snitching. We promise. It's not a threat, it's a promise. So today, we out here to promote a united front against fascism. Don't hear us talk today and then say you to know nothing about it tomorrow. Go back into your communities and organize against racism. Stop trying to lead the black liberation movement. Help us, support us with your body, heart, soul, and your damn pocketbook, so you got way more chips. You know the business. Don't play no games like you done come up, you ain't got nothing in your pocket, your peoples ain't got nothing. We need plenty of bullets and computers out here. Plenty of books. That's what we need. Stop playing. Help support the real revolutionary front. You see a lot of organizations come talk big, but they don't move nothing. When Devin Brown, 13-year-old boy, was assassinated by the brutal LAPD, we was there, smashing. While everybody else talked about it, talking about they gonna do lawsuits and all this old funny talking, all this pen writing, they didn't want to move nothing. All the organizations, black ones too, brown ones, all kind of organizations had something to say, but they didn't want to move nothing. We encouraged everybody, let's go smash. We said, let's go march on something, let's go bang on something, as we say. Bang on the real enemy. They was like, no. When we went to Devin Brown funeral, we posted 20 soldiers out front of the funeral to let pigs know it'll never happen again on such a level without a retaliatory response. So after the funeral, everybody went home, ate their little meal, talked about it, cried about it. We was plotting on moving. The next day, when Buster-ass Bratton and Buster-ass Hahn got together to announce a press conference talking about a fake policy of not shooting at moving vehicles in order to encourage our people to lay down our lives non-violently and peacefully so we won't do nothing, we decided to march right up to the LAPD Parker Center. A lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. A lot of y'all been shot with rubber bullets just going close to the Parker Center. You know what I'm talking about. We marched 30 soldiers right inside of LAPD headquarters and had pigs running everywhere. It was on live television, but yet you still waiting on something from Huey P. Newton. You still waiting on something from Bobby Seale. What I promise to tell you, I love and respect them for what they did, but at the same time, look at them now. They run around with no teeth and a panther tail between their legs. We got teeth. We got 2, 3, 4 layers of teeth right here. We ain't playing no games. We created a Watch a Pig program, which we shadow the pigs. We patrol the pigs in our community. Let them know, if you're going to bang on our community, these gangbangers is turning against you now. No longer will we go by that fake gang mentality. We're going to adopt the revolutionary mentality that's going to destroy fascism, capitalism, and imperialism on this planet. So get with this movement. Sign up. Be a part of the United Front Against Fascism. Be a part of the discussion, the debate to iron out a real revolutionary strategy that's going to knock Bush punk ass out of power. Be serious. This is not a game. A revolutionary, in order for him to consider himself or herself a revolutionary, you must continuously better your revolution. The revolution within yourself first, and the revolution in the outer environment. If you are not doing this, you are playing games, and we will tell you about yourself. You must continue to outdo yourself. A lot of y'all, I give y'all that for a lot of things in this crowd right now. Y'all done organized plenty of good things. But if tonight, if you don't go home thinking about what the hell I'm talking about, thinking about what the hell we talking about at this panel, something wrong. You ain't up in your game. If you was reading 1 book last week, you should be reading 3 books after this meeting. You should be talking to more people. We ain't talking about everybody just grab a gun, let's go to war this second. But at the same time, you better be ready. Power to the people. Down. That's right.
Hey, what do you guys want to do? We have like 15 minutes. Should I make an open question from the audience, or should I just keep going with the question? What do you guys want to do? Open question? Okay, okay, let's do it with the open question. Who has a question? Person on the way back.
Peace, peace. La paz, todo en el nombre de la paz. La paz. Pero, hey, we all know what Bush is doing. 20,000 more troops. Attacking on Sausager Farm. Further criminalization of gang members as urban terrorists. But with all this young energy, we should Like, start thinking about stuff that we're going to do in the future as we take power in the world. And I personally, I think one of our major obstacles is the corporation. It's the strongest individual in a capitalist economy, and they patent seeds and they contract military assassins to throw coups in Venezuela, for instance. But the corporation is a dinosaur. I believe it's going to be dead in 50 years because we don't want to work for them anyway. But what are we going to do to replace it? So, like, if any ideas y'all from your different alliances and perspectives, like, what are we going to use to replace the corporation to make money for ourselves?
All right, who wants to answer that first?
Well, I think the first thing is you need to work. And I don't mean work for somebody, but we're talking about self-determination. But self-determination is just going to fall in your lap. Here you go. Here's your food. Here's your seat. It's going to take work. And it's going to really take networking and really people talking to each other and seeing what's going on and coming together on a common goal. So it's like, I think that the corporations, we can easily turn our back on the corporations because we feed them. Everything that we do in our everyday life constantly feeds that system. But if we just turn our back on the systems, take back the land, start growing our own food, making our own clothes, building our own economies, then we can talk about some change. But we can't talk about creating this change if we're continuing to feed it. You want to throw down the system, you want to break down the system, it's simple. Turn your back on it. Don't be afraid of it. We got to pull ourselves out. And I think that's what it is. We're just too dependent. We're too accustomed to our commodities. We're in our comfort zones. We like our hot water. You know, we like to be able to buy this nice clean water. And we don't really look at when the shit hits the fan. Yeah, we're going to get the land back. We're going to be up on that hill, same revolution with our fists up high. And we're going to have land, but we ain't going to have no seeds. And if we don't have no seeds, maybe we do have seeds, but we don't even know how to plant them. Where are we going to get water when the water's poison? We're not thinking about the natural resources, what we need to preserve in order to take it to that next step. So that's just what I have to say on that.
I agree with her. I think what is happening is we're basically poisoning our land base. We're poisoning our water. We're poisoning our air. We're killing off the fish. We're killing off the trees, the animals. I mean, everything that sustains a population, everything that God or Allah or whoever you believe, the land base is being destroyed, and it's being destroyed by us. And I think that we also have to take some responsibility in our choices, because like she said so eloquently, I mean, you can't be going and buying fast food and bottled water from big corporations and then complain that the corporations have so much money and power. You've got to stand up and you've got to start saying, no, we're not going to let you destroy our land base. We're not going to let you destroy our air, our water, the animals that we share this planet with, the people that we share this planet with. And we just got to get up and be out there, and like you said, we've got to stand up to these corporations.
I agree with what Daisy was saying. I think we've got to start building the institutions that are going to replace capitalism in our communities. Start building the schools, our own feed the people programs or whatever, so we can stop relying on our enemies, you know, and start relying on ourselves. And also, like, you know, as RAC, the Revolutionary Autonomous Communities, we feel that, you know, we have different influences, you know, and I think one of them.
Hey, could everyone shut up? You show some respect, you know. People are speaking.
Our position on people of color or colonized people is black people, brown people, yellow people, red people have to start building their own leadership, their own community councils in their communities, and start actually connecting with each other, start building a federation of community councils, and start building their own vision, their own self-determination, and start, relying on themselves, and start actually having some mutual aid programs where we can support each other. If some of our people are being attacked, for example, the Black Riders, we can go down there and also fuck shit up, and defend each other. So I think that's what we're trying to do.
Anyone has any other question? Can we form a line here? People have a question. Also, whoever's answering it, let's try to make this short so we could try to get everyone. Don't go too long, please.
Hey, also, in adding to what you said, do you kind of let people know that things like Vaseline is made out of petroleum, plastic is made out of petroleum? So if you're against the oil companies, don't buy plastic and don't buy Vaseline. Every dollar you spend is either giving to them or taking away from them. So I don't know if that's a question. I just thought I'd add to what y'all were saying.
Yeah, I think we all have to realize that indigenous peoples and people that came before us and shared the land, respected the land, revered the land, basically they were living in harmony with nature. And I think we are so out of harmony with nature and we are killing our environment that I think we have to look at those things as well. Because remember, the planet, Mother Earth, is what sustains us. And believe me, in the past, 300 years, we haven't done a very good job living in harmony in this nation. In fact, before we ever came to this country, people were living in harmony. People were living off the land, giving back to the land. And now, look at what's happened to us. So we also have to hold ourselves accountable and start making changes within our own lives as well.
I just have a question. This is kind of dedicated, directed to you and all the people, like the animal liberation people out here. I'm just wondering. I think everybody should see that this panel right here. We got the Black Riders, we got the YJC, we got Cop Watch, we got the RAC, we got, Bloodhound organizing in his communities. The only one white person on this panel is organizing around animal liberation. These people are in our communities dealing with human beings. I want to just, I don't see, how this fits. I'd like to see, address that.
I think that's a great question. You just replace white supremacy with human supremacy. I think it's arrogant. I think it's egregious of us to think that just because we're humans, we're the top of the pyramid, we're the top of some pinnacle, that just because we speak a language that other humans can understand, that basically we should be able to exploit, terrorize, abuse other species. They're nations like us. They might look different, they might not have the vocal cords, but they still feel pain, they still feel agony. They're still sitting imprisoned in UCLA having coils implanted in their eyes while they scream out with no anesthetics. They're still sitting on the runways of slaughterhouses where their legs are shaking as they go up to the slaughterhouse floor, and then their heads or their throats are slit. We have to realize that human beings are not some pinnacle. I respect all other social justice causes, and I love that everybody here is standing up for the oppressed. But I think at some point we have to be honest with ourselves and say that human beings aren't the only ones who are oppressed. Human beings are just a human species. I'm sorry. I apologize that I'm white. I apologize that my ancestors did such horrible things. I want you to know, I just want you to know that I'm a nurse. I want you to know that I'm a nurse, and I want you to know that I take care of humans too. I'm a nurse. My husband's a physician.
So, I just think we're talking about strategies, and I think it's really important to pick our battles. And just on the animal liberation front, I do want to say that it's really important to look at the industry, because we're eating up all that meat every day. And we're not really looking at that. Not everyone, but there's a lot of people who drink milk, our school food, all that, what's being fed in institutions to both prisoners and to our children, that's going through a system. And that matters, because what's happening is the way that the animal industry is working, not only is it polluting our environment, but it's also poisoning all of us. And regardless who wants to say they don't eat here, but I know plenty of people be going to get a Big Mac.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? And chicken nuggets or whatever, eating meat. So then you need to question what's in that meat, and the fact that meat is being fucked with. And that meat, you're getting chickens, you're eating chickens that don't have heads, that don't have beaks. And that's going to affect your health. So it's important to also look at that. It's not a matter of who's saying it or whatever, but it's also about choosing the battles. I mean, I can sit here and battle about something, or we can talk about what really is going on, about strategizing, about coming together. Or I can sit here and yell at her for being whatever. You know what I mean?
Hi. Well, I'm just gonna keep it real right now. We were talking about this at a retreat we had for Cop Watch, and we were talking. My homegirl Martha had brought up to us, that one of the big reasons, animals they're a big part of our culture. Most peoples of color, we all have an animal. And we don't, I didn't mean it like that. But, we don't, like the compañera said, we don't get to see, we eat all this processed bullshit. We don't get to see the life that gives us life. But I'm gonna keep it real right now. If I went to jail for defending the farm, my mom would have been a little pissed, but she would have been alright. But if I went to jail for a cat, she would have found a way to get through them bars and beat my ass. For real. I'm keeping it real, because while you're in jail defending an animal, what the fuck is gonna go on with our people out here? They're being oppressed on a daily basis, being harassed, being killed, being murdered, being brutalized. I mean, not that animals aren't important, because I love animals. I be talking to them, everything. I'm keeping it real. But I can't put an animal before a person, because I see my people struggle. I see it, and I just can't do it. And I know that a lot of us can't.
So, on that too, let's make it clear, we don't got fucking Trader Joe's in the fucking hood. We can't get, the cheapest fucking food is fucking McDonald's and fucking Burger King. A lot of us don't got fucking money to be buying organic food and feeding our families, these vegan products, right? So, if we really want to talk, if we really want to start talking about, animal liberation, let's talk about, bringing these programs to our communities, creating these gardens so that our communities could feed ourselves. And, I agree with the homeboy Alden, the only person up here talking about animal liberation is a white person, If white people with their privilege really want to support people of color, they gotta support us through anti-racist action, and they gotta put themselves in front of that racist LAPD that be fucking trying to beat our people and shit, So, you want to talk about animals in cages and shit? We got people in cages out here too and shit, if we want to really free animals, let's free people first so that people could have that choice, and have that option, Let's not just talk about freeing animals before freeing anybody else and shit. Hey, there's a line, homie. There's a line.
We're going to give the Bloodhound him, then we're going to go question.
Hey, hold on, man. Hold on. Let's give everybody a chance, okay? Now, I sat here and I listened to everybody, and I'm gonna say, you know what? I really feel like that's some shit when people are coming down here on her, cause it took a lot of fucking balls, and she's a woman, so that's hard to do. She had a lot of heart to come over here and do her thing, and this isn't how you supposed to receive her, man. This is some fucked up shit. Okay? She has her beliefs, and her beliefs are just as good as anyone else's beliefs over here. I didn't come here to rag on no one's beliefs, and I don't think anyone should be ragging on her beliefs. I'm a vegetarian myself, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been shot 23 times, and it wasn't no fucking steak that helped me stay healthy, man. If we talking about independence and revolution, we gonna have to grow our own food anyways. Ain't nobody over here got fucking farms with cows on them and pigs and chickens. We're gonna have to grow our own food. You want to be strong and healthy? You're going to be a vegetarian anyways, man. Because that meat's fucking poisoning you. That's dead flesh you're eating when you eat meat, man. Decaying, dead flesh. Okay? The strongest animals on the planet is the elephant. Vegetarian. Biggest animal on the planet. Giraffe. Vegetarian. Biggest animal in the ocean. Fucking whales. Vegetarian, okay? Being a fucking vegetarian don't make you weak.
Okay, wait. Okay, we have people doing questions. I really want to move on. We could go on for this, but just really quickly. Okay, Taco, he's not a vegetarian. I'm vegetarian. We've been friends for 8 years. We went to an animal rights rally together 8 years ago. Right? Isn't that right? We stay in solidarity because we have different views. He eats meat. I don't eat meat. But I brought him to the anti-vivisection protest, so we got to stay in solidarity, you know? Not everyone's going to have the same views. Okay, let's keep going. Go to the next questions.
I hope, I suspect that I'm one of the oldest voices in this gathering. And so on behalf of all the youths that have been fighting all across the world, particularly those who struggled for the liberation of South Africa, the youths of Soweto, I bring my greetings to this conference. I have come here to listen to the youths today, because I know that the vanguard of the future and for the liberation of the present will come from them. And I want to salute particularly the members of the Black Riders Liberation Group, because particularly in the black community for more than 10 years now, I have known them, that they have been in the forefront trying to create the revolutionary vanguard that we need. I have always wished that I could take all of them back with me to Africa, so that they could, yes, that has always been my dream, but Taco has never made that possible for me, you know, because we need some serious struggles over there. I also want to salute the youths of the South Central Farms who are here today, whether we like it or not. I want to bear testimony to the fact that just a couple of months ago, when we, the old folks on the South Central Farms, called on these young men and women to defend the 14 acres of land, which is just about 15 minutes away from downtown LA, these young men and women, without hesitation, took on the police. They were following in the tradition that was established. It is true, when the Black Riders Liberation Group started some years ago, saying cop watch, a lot of people said, this is crazy, it is impossible. But I'm happy that that is now a very, very popular trend. But it should not just be a popular trend, it should be the trend that we need. Watch Veragosa, bring down Jamperi, let us march forward. The struggle is possible and revolution is the way. Thank you.
I just wanted to know if anybody could address classism, because I've heard a lot about racism, but no classism, because I might be white, but I'm from the same neighborhoods. You know, I didn't grow up in a rich neighborhood, and I just want to hear about classism, because nobody's concerned about that.
Power to the people. Down. Our position, as I said, you know, earlier, that our position is based on attack against capitalism, imperialism. Not capitalism, classism. No, I understand that, but capitalism implies classism. You cannot have classism without capitalism, and vice versa. But my issue is to go on further, just so you know, is don't feel offset and don't feel alienated just because You know, a lot of our positions is tied to race. That's because of the nature of this country. But our struggle is directly tied to a race and class position. We understand racism, we understand imperialism, we understand capitalism, we understand how these intermingling concepts and isms fuck us over. You feel me? So in terms of class, you know, it's like our position is we believe that the lumpen proletariat class in our black community is the vanguard of the revolution. You feel me? So we encouraging all classes that's oppressed to ride with us. You feel me? Anybody who oppressed as a class, come ride with us. But at the same time, do not poo-poo away race. You feel me? Because race is essential to understand it. And a lot of white leftists come out here, they like to talk about class, but they don't have nothing to say about the race question. Or if they talk about the race question, they expect to tell us about it instead of ask us what's going on. So we with you, you know what I'm saying?
I think that oppressed white people also, as well, should organize in their communities, you know? They should be organizing in your communities, you know what I mean? Like, where, you know, organize other white people, you know, organize other white people, you know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, you know, even though you're a working class white person, you still have white skin privilege because there is white supremacy. How capitalism developed in the U.S. was off the backs of black people, indigenous people, Mexicans. So, you know, that's just reality, you know what I mean? So, like, if you're white person, you know what I mean? you have more privilege, you know what I mean? Even though you're working class, you still get more resources. You get more resources than working class people of color. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like, I'm not dissing on you for being white. I'm saying you have to go organize other white people because you can relate more to them, you know? I don't relate more to working class white people. Yeah.
Daisy wants to say something.
Well, I think. Okay. Well, no matter what class, there'll always be white privilege. No matter if you're a poor white person or you're a rich white person, there is white privilege, and that needs to be acknowledged. So.
Whatever, you can shave all that off and go and get you a job. Yeah. You can clean up, you're accepted. Understand this. Hang on. Understand this. We are the minority. No. Cause see, we are the minority. You look like you look right now, but you can shave all that off and hi, sir, and you know, walk your tight ass to and get you a tight ass job. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. We cannot. Don't believe it, but it's true.
Kiss my ass. I ain't white.
Just go. Okay. Much to opposite to what Reina and Borke probably think, I'm not going to say a thing about veganism. Every single person up here is up here on this panel because they are doing something. There's a whole lot of people sitting on their fucking couches not doing a damn thing. Anyone who's here today is obviously interested in trying to get things going. We should all be working, and I apologize for wanting to speak out of turn. All I wanted to say was that discussion to me just felt like we were taking steps backwards. We shouldn't be here today at all to forge separations whatsoever. And this goes to my question. It's for Bloodhound, in fact. With working with the gang treaties, I think maybe I was hoping maybe to have something you could share with us as far as interlinking struggles. You have clearly some experience talking to two sides that didn't have a lot of interest in talking to each other and were told and reinforced over and over again not to work with each other, and the fact that the whole institution counts on all of us not working together. It's so crucial for us to interweave all of our struggles. Not a single person in this room, I don't think, would like to stand up here and say that they have a solution that is the end-all be-all, and not a single person in here has the resources or ability or strength or energy or anything to get everything that needs to be done. We all need to be doing what's important. And anyway, if you had anything you could say to help us like interweave our struggles and work more together.
What's worked for me in the past and what I work with in the present and will continue to work with is I focus on what we have in common. I focus on our common ground, not what are different sets that we come from, or in this case, the different classes or different races. I don't think that's, to me at least, that's not the primary goal that we should be focusing on. Because if we're all trying to make it a better city, a better state, better country, better world, then we all got something we can put in the pot. And for me at least, what I've seen when I'm working with Crips, and I work with Chicano gangs, and I've worked with Asian gangs, and it hasn't been too many white gangs, but a few white gangs like Stoners, and I work with them, and the first thing that's not, I'm not even thinking about is, okay, this dude's from a different race, this dude's from a different set. I'm not thinking about that. The first thing I'm thinking is, okay, what do we have in common that we can build upon? Okay, we both got homies that's dying on these streets. We gonna build on that. How can we stop that? We both got people that's going to jail. The police is harassing people. You get harassed by the police just like a lot of other people. The police don't see your skin color first. When they see you, they see the area you in. That's what they notice. Then they notice what you're wearing. Eventually, they're going to notice your skin color, though. Your color, your eyes, your hair, maybe. And that's going to be a contributing factor if they decide if they're going to try to rough you up or shoot you. So you may not get brutalized or killed as somebody with darker skin tone, but I do recognize that you do get harassed because I have friends that are white that are from blood gangs and Crip gangs, that are Hispanic, that are Asian, or that have white Eurocentric features, and they still get shit on because they chose to be with us or they're with us for whatever reason. If you don't look a certain way, it's not the way, because I got a bunch of black friends or associates, and let me take that back, not black friends, but associates that are sellouts. So you ain't got to be white to get accepted by the white ruling class or the LAPD. You have Officer Garcia, who I think is a piece of shit, that shot that little kid. He was Hispanic, but he didn't think like an Hispanic person as far as I'm concerned. He was trained to think like a white person when he did that. In my opinion, you have black people that are trained to think like racists and black people that are police officers that will beat your ass just as quick as a white police officer will. It's the mentality you got to deal with. No, I said the Eurocentric ruling class. Are you part of the Eurocentric ruling class? I don't think so. Okay, then. We know what the Eurocentric ruling class has done, man. I mean, I'm not trying to be fucked up and rag on you. I'm telling it like it is, though, man.
And I just wanted to say one thing, that basically, remember, I think no matter what race we are, no matter what sex we are, and no matter what species we are, the people and the animals on this planet who are fighting against oppression and exploitation that are coming from the Congress and the Senate and Bush, whoever fights against that system is put in a certain class. Because I'm telling you, when I'm in jail for protesting, I'll tell you that I am treated no better, no worse. I've seen black cops beat other black inmates. I've seen Hispanic cops beat Hispanic inmates. I've seen every combination, and I don't think it has so much to do with race, at least from my experience being incarcerated. I think it has to do with power. That's what I think. And I think once, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, once you get that power and that uniform and that gun that you're a cop, you oppress anybody who you can oppress. So I think we all have to come together as human beings and say that we all should fight against this mindset, this culture that Bush and the Senate and the Congress is trying to basically sell us, that we're all different. But no, we're not all different. We're all the same. And I think we have to, again, we have to embrace other beings, even if they don't look like us, even if they don't talk like us. They have feelings, they have sentience, and we have to respect that. And if we can embrace them, then it would be easier for people to embrace each other.
Okay, so we're talking about black police brown police that beat on their own people. All right, I don't know about everybody in here, but there is this term self-hatred. I mean, yeah, internalized depression, you know? What the fuck did they have to do to get in that position? I'm sure they hate the color of their skin. I bet you they got treated like shit trying to get in the position they got in, so of course they're gonna treat us like shit. They hate the skin that they have and they hate seeing anybody else with it. Because why? Society and the internalized depression made them hate themselves.
Real quick, I think that we're not trying to create divisions, you know. I think these things already exist in society because there is power, you know. There is a power structure, and that power structure, like we said, is white supremacist, patriarchal, and capitalist. That means that white, upper middle class males have more privilege than working class women of color, you know what I mean? So that's reality, you know. We're not making that up, you know. Like, that's just how it is. And I think that personally, like on unity, I think, and I agree with Malcolm X, you know, in order to have unity with white people, we have to have unity amongst ourselves first, as oppressed people first, you know what I mean? And eventually, that's something we want to get to, you know what I mean? But I think that trust has to be built. And we have, like, you know, because our experiences dealing with white people in the left, or even in the, you know, with the fascist government, has been negative, so.
Man, I've been so itching to get this mic on this point. Look, I just want to talk to you about the question of, like, making distinction over which white people we talking about. You know, we